Hello, and thank you for logging in. I'm the football chemist, pronounced Z football chemist, and I'm here to give you my week two predictions, as well as a little bit of fantasy advice, as well as the ongoing competition that'll be going on with me and my homies. And these will all be in separate clips, all melded together. Hopefully, by the end of this, I'll have some cool transitions and things like that. But since this is in the beginning stages, we're gonna have to just go with what we go. Just so you all can see, the hair is gone. I'm kind of stoked now. I get to start wearing hats again because now they actually fit. So to get started with the picks, let me just go through. I'm not gonna talk much about the games. I'm just gonna give my picks so I can keep my weekly record for the season. Right now I'm at 10-6. I got Atlanta over Arizona, Baltimore over Cincy. I got Kansas City over Cleveland, and not just because they beat the Chargers, but because they look good. Dallas over Chicago, Philly over Detroit, Green Bay over Buffalo, Pittsburgh over Tennessee, Minnesota over Miami, Carolina over Tampa Bay, Denver over Seattle, as much as it pains me, St. Louis over Oakland, the Patriots over the Jets, San Diego taking down Jacksonville, Houston over Washington, Indianapolis over the Giants, and Nolans over the Niners on Monday Night Football. Those are my picks for the week. We'll see how I do. All right, let me give you a few of some fantasy pickups for the week. Everyone pretty much has their team set, but if you're looking for a running back and you haven't already found out and this person hasn't been swooped up, Brandon Jackson of the Green Bay Packers taking over for Ryan Grant out for the season. Um, he could do good. That's a high-powered offense, and he should be taking over. At wide receiver, Mark Clayton for the St. Louis Rams had a lot of catches. If you're in a PPR league, he had a lot of targets. Um, their first string receiver went down with an ACL injury before the season. In the first game, their guy who moved into the number one was Laurent Robinson. Looked like he got injured. Sam Bradford's hucking the ball, and I mean, what can you say? At tight end, well, I would say Jermaine Grisham for Cincinnati. He's probably still available on some waiver wires, and it looks like he's a pretty big target for Carson Palmer in the red zone. As far as defense goes for the week, I would pick up Kansas City Chiefs. They got some explosive rookies on the special teams that could be beneficial. Maybe they'll get the run one back, get you a touchdown, and also they're playing the Cleveland Browns, so they could stop them and get you some points. If you need a quarterback, Kevin Kolb looks like he probably won't play with a concussion. Michael Vick, though he may not give you the best passing stats, he rushed for over 100 yards, and I mean that's as good as a running back one. Or Sam Bradford, once again, St. Louis Rams. He threw the ball about 50 times. He may throw some picks and stuff, but he's a gunslinger and he's the number one pick, so I would go with them. Hello, I'm reporting here from Sacramento, California. Actually, Roseville. I'm staying at my good buddy Kelsey's house, also known as Punatic in the weekly picks. The Punatic is here to make the first special guest appearance of the year for this show. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce my friend, the Punatic, Kelsey, avid Eagles fans with a start and sit for fantasy football. Kelsey?
What's up? First appearance on YouTube. Start and sit. Fantasy nutcases. You want to listen to this? You want to get this down because these are guarantee winners and guarantee losers. Flames and lames, shitters and winners. You know the deal. First off with the running backs. Last season, Jerome Harrison dropped almost 3 bills in this game against Kansas City. Start Jerome Harrison. He didn't do shit last week. Start him this week. Sit for running backs. Hate to say it because I got him on one of my teams, my money leagues. Cedric Benson's gonna be a sitter. Don't play the man. Zach's gonna like this one. The freaking Chemist team. I'm gonna go with the start for Malcolm Floyd. Rashawn Mathis is about all Jacksonville's got. So play Floyd because he'll find some mismatches. And P. Rivers is gonna be PO'd after last week's loss. Another tough one for me because I got Tom Brady, and Tom Brady's favorite target is Mr. Moss. I'm going to go with the sit with Darrell Revis marking freaking Mr. Moss. Mr. Moss has had a tough week in the media, so sit the Mr. Moss. QB starters. I went with the double dipper because this is going to be a freaking shootout. Either Manning brother will get you 25 plus points in any format you're playing in. Start Peyton, start Shmeli, because it's going to be a shootout. No defense in that game. The sit, oh, this one's painful also. The sit for my quarterbacks, Tom Brady. I have him in 2 out of 3, 2 money leagues. It's going to hurt me. It's going to pain me to freaking sit him in this one. But against the Jets, he'll get some numbers, but he's not going to have 30 points like he had last week. Defense start. Live in California, live in NorCal. Alex Smith is garbage. Garbage, garbage, garbage. They're playing New Orleans. I'm calling a shutout. New Orleans 34, San Francisco 0. Start New Orleans. On the other end of it, I know I put down freaking Brady as a sit, but I still think New England's going to get enough points to make the Jets a sit in this one. Little contradictory, but at the same point, they're going to give up yards. They're going to give up freaking touchdowns, all this business. Sit the Jets D. Tight end, I'm going with a homer pick. Mike Vick starting for the Eagles. He's going to need to get out of trouble. Not a good pass for the ball. He's going to get a lot of checkdowns to LaShawn, a lot of checkdowns to Brent Selleck. Start Brent Selleck. Even though he struggled last week, he's a starter. My sit, and this is another homer pick. Hate the Cowboys with a passion. Romo, Austin, freaking MB3. Not a good D this year. Sit Jason Witten. All right, the Punatics out. Till next time. Keep watching. Let's get some hits on YouTube.
Mahalos again. Talk to you next time. Aloha. See here, the first matchup, I'm going to pick 5 matchups per week, and me and my friends will take our picks, and at the end of the week we'll keep a running tally of these. These are once again just the 5 best games of the week. I will myself be keeping my season tally for every game over the season, but each week we're going to have a little competition between myself and my 4 homies, and sometimes I'll let some guest people come in. Depends. Each week will be different. To the first matchup, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers going into Tennessee to play with the Tennessee Titans. I am the football chemist, and my pick, as you can see, different from the rest. I take the Pittsburgh Steelers. My boy Trevor down in Oceanside, we're going to call him T-Money. He's taking Tennessee. My friend Kelsey Chaidez from Sacramento, also known as Punatic because he grew up in Puna and he's a lunatic. He's taking Tennessee. My boy Rage up in Oregon, he's got Tennessee. And my cousin Jeremy down in Torrance, we're going to call him Adrian Pimperson. He chose that himself. He also has Tennessee. As you can see, I got some football cards of each player. And if you're wondering what this is up here, this is a piece of gum from a football card pack from 1990. And if the Chargers lose this week, I will eat this on the show for next week. All right? All right. Another intriguing matchup I thought would be the New England Patriots at the New York Jets. But as you can see, it was unanimous across the board. We all thought that the Patriots would take out the Jets. It's a tough division rivalry. It's offense versus defense. So think it might be a good game. All right, for my third game of the week, which I think is going to be a good matchup, is Baltimore at Cincinnati. Now, as you can see, we have a pretty nice split on this one. Myself, Punatic, and Adrian Pimperson all take Baltimore. T-Money and Rage are taking the Bengals. On a side note, I only had 2 Baltimore Ravens football cards because most of the packs of cards I had were from 1990 and before, and I guess the Ravens weren't around there, so substituted Bobby Wade in a Viking uniform, but it's kind of hard to tell from this angle, and Adrian Pimperson wouldn't mind having an extra Viking on there. Alright, next game of the 5 is going to be Miami at Minnesota. This game is extra special, as noted by the little stars here. T-Money is a Dolphins fan, and Adrian Pimperson is a Vikings fan, as you can tell by the name. In this one, the football chemist, myself, Rager, and Adrian Pimperson took the Vikings, whereas T-Money and Punatic took the Dolphins. Now, just wanted to make a special note. This card here, since T-Money is a big Dolphins fan, I put the greatest Dolphin of all time, Dan Marino. It's his 1988 record-breaking card. Don't know what the record was. And for the Vikings, I put the greatest Viking, in my opinion, of all time, Randy Moss. And actually, it's funny because Adrian Pimperson actually gave me this same exact white Randy Moss jersey when he left the Vikings. So that shows you he's a true fan. Alright, the last of the 5 games that I chose was the Manning Bowl 2, which pits Eli Manning versus his brother Peyton. Peyton got the better of him in the first one. Looking at the board, myself, T-Money, Rage, and Adrian Pimperson all take the Colts. The Punatics take the New York Giants with the asterisk. He actually first told me that it's going to be a 38-38 tie after 5 quarters of football. When I told him he had to change it, he said that the Giants would kick a field goal then in that case. That's going to wrap up this episode for week 2. Thank you very much for listening. Comments and feedback is well appreciated. And thank you and have a nice one. Aloha.